Live. Welcome back to a crowdcast version of your daily Matrix, basically,
Yes.
because that's what Phil and I do lately. Excuse me, I do have a slight cold, so I tell people right away I have a slight cold. But your daily Matrix, this is what we've been using. And if you're following us on the daily Matrix, you know we've added the amygdala to the diagram, to the
Yep.
Matrix diagram. And you'll see pretty quickly this will become just the V matrix. Just make it simpler, right, Phil?
Yes.
What we were just talking about, which is better, the ACT matrix or me matrix? Me matrix. Everybody understands me,
No brainer.
right? It's a no-brainer, right? So, you'll see that pop up. So, and Phil and I have both been just not reveling. It's not. I wouldn't say that, but there's a lot of discussions about the election that just happened,
Postmortems.
the post-mortem, right? Uh, and my wife called them autopsies.
Yeah. Yeah. Same thing.
That's a
We got
nice.
a we got a cadaver and we're taking a look at it.
Taking a look at it, right? And of course, people are just all over the place, including sort of kind of close to what we're about to tell you. Okay. So if you're not familiar with the Matrix, this is new to you. You found us on YouTube because this is being broadcast over to YouTube. You found us and you say, what's this Matrix? Well, usually that Matrix that's up on the screen, and if you're listening with your ears, no, it's the standard Matrix. There's senses at the top. Then there's this cute little amygdala that our graphic artist named Phil right there made. The little brain with eyeballs is cute. And then down at the bottom is the mind. Then over to the right is satisfaction, and over to the left is relief. Now, we usually add 4 questions. In the lower right, we ask who's important to you. In the lower left, we ask, well, what kind of yucky stuff shows up inside of you, like fear? Okay. Then in the upper left, we say, well, what kind of behaviors do to get relief, like from the fear? You might run away or something. And what do you do for satisfaction? Well, you might do something for who's important to you, right? Even a cup of coffee or something like that. And you can notice all of that process. So that's the basic matrix. So you say, well, how could I use that? Oh, we're going to show you.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to show you right now how you do it. So we're going to take a little trip up to the senses. We're going to stay up there, and I would imagine, I would imagine that a lot of people, even in our listening audience, and sometime in your history, you looked at your checking account balance, your bank balance, and nowadays, of course, you can do that with your phone,
Yeah.
and it's like, oh.
Yep. The ticker tape comes out of the ATM machine and you go, ooh.
Ooh, ow, ooh, right, right. Ooh, I don't have enough money.
Yeah.
Okay. And right there, that's a five senses experience, but it also sets your context. That's the fancy name for it. So now, in the back of your mind, you've got that low bank balance.
Yep.
I mean, that's my experience.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, it's gonna walk around with me for the rest of the day.
Yeah. So it just plows right down there and gets into your mind, and of course, it's triggered your amygdala a little bit, right? Because you're in danger. Go to Maslow's hierarchy of needs stuff. You're in danger of not being able to buy food. You're in danger of not being able to buy gasoline for your car. You're in danger of not being able to pay your rent for your shelter. Those basic needs of life. Well, there is ample data, not statistics, real honest to goodness data that shows over the last 50 years in the United States, a whopping amount of money has gone from the less fortunate of us and that money has been sucked up by the wealthy. Now, back in my day, we called it the haves and the have-nots. So the haves have gotten a whole bunch more money, and the have-nots have gotten a whole lot less money, and that means there's a whole lot more have-nots. So these people that are in this position of not enough money, and they're chronically in it's unrelenting. It's just there all the time. So where does that show up in the matrix? Well, we're just going to let you know this is not a sorting exercise. We're going to let you know right where it shows up. It shows up at the very least as worry, and that's called yucky. And that's in the lower left. So now you've got this worry. Now, if it gets really dire, have you ever heard of somebody sort of getting desperate? What do you think, Phil?
Oh, yes.
Like
I've come across a few desperate people in my time.
They might shoplift. I mean, people that wouldn't normally do that, but
Yeah.
they might shoplift.
Well, again, Maslow's hierarchy of needs rears its right.
Some of them might even rob a bank or something. There's desperate folks. We're not talking regular criminals. No, we're just talking people
stealing some food to take home to your family. Yep.
They're just desperate. They're just desperate. Well, we got millions of those folks in this country. Period. End of story. That's not a made up thing. That's just a fact. We have a whole lot of them. So, and those include Democrats, Republicans, Independents,
cuts across everything.
This is humans who are way short of money. They're chronically worried and heading toward being desperate. Okay. And so when you feel like that, you want to do a relief move. You want relief. And so this sells lottery tickets. Okay.
Yeah.
They'll take one of the last dollars they have and go buy a lottery ticket.
Yep. As they're checking out.
Yep. What do you get with that lottery ticket? You get hope.
Yes. Immediately.
It's instant hope.
This is going to get me out of my fix.
And remember, Obama ran on the audacity of hope and all that. But that's what you get for somebody who's very poor, just really having trouble making ends meet.
And the mouth.
And I'm not saying that they all buy a lottery ticket, but quite a few do. It really does. I bet you millions a day or something that way. And it gives you this tiny little bit of hope. Now, in the vast majority of cases, that hope gets dashed. You don't win the lottery, right? You just don't win. But nevertheless, it's hope. But so you're always looking for that hope, that relief, that let me out of this horrible financial situation. Okay, you're just desperate, and so I and Phil both posit that's the main engine of what went wrong and what's been going on for several election cycles. That's the thing that drives things. That's it's fear. It's the amygdala going off constantly. And oh man, it's awful. It's just awful. So here comes a politician. Yikes.
Really?
I'm joking. That's what they do. Okay. And for the most part, politicians in that kind of environment need to position themselves as relief.
Yep. I am the answer.
Yeah. I am the answer. I am your relief. Okay. And notice that just doesn't have anything to do with misogyny or sexism or communism or authoritarianism
or even policy for that matter.
Right, policy wonk stuff. It has got nothing to do with that. All of that stuff absolutely does not press that relief button. Okay. And so, what some politicians are very good at is saying essentially and almost verbatim, I am the relief. That's it. They position themselves. And I'm not saying everybody's like that, but there's enough. And you got millions and millions and millions of them out there. And they'll go, great. You look like relief. And the other person doesn't.
Yeah.
And so now who are they going to vote for? And now notice I haven't named any names, but that's how it goes out these days, folks. It's got to be relief. You say, well, and I'll bring up an example of Joe Biden. And he won in 2020, right? One of the relief things he put out was, I'm going to increase the minimum wage to $15 an hour.
Yes. He said
flat out. I'm going to increase the minimum wage to $15 an hour. So let's run the math. Let's say that you were working 40 hours a week for $10 an hour.
Mm-hmm.
You're making $400 a week. And even if you can't do it in your head, you can do it on your phone. You're going to say, well, what does 15 do for me? Cheekity, cheekity, cheek. It increases your pay per week by $200. That's what it does. And your brain goes, whoa.
Yeah, that's a big deal. That's a big
deal. And 4 times that's $800.
Really yeah.
Whoa. How do you spell relief?
Mm-hmm.
Boom. So don't think that Joe Biden didn't do that. I like Kamala Harris. She didn't do that.
No.
She said, I support an increase of the minimum wage. And she left off the number. I'm not kidding. That's a true.
No, she did. Yeah. Didn't put a number down. Yep.
And you really needed to put a number on it.
Yeah.
Advertising 101, folks. You need to put a concrete number on it.
Concrete, something you can wrap your head around.
It goes from, well, non-concrete, ephemeral or whatever you want to call it, to concrete. You can run the calculation. You can get your calculator out.
You can do math with 15. You can't do math with I'm going to increase.
No, that's infinity. That's
right.
Or nothing. We don't know what it is.
It could be 2 cents, right?
We don't know what that is. Right. And so, I'm not dissing. I'm just giving an example of how you can do it. Now, by the way, Trump, who just won, he managed to pull that off without giving a specific number.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get into how he pulls that off. He's just good at it. And if anybody says he's not good at it, you might have noticed he won.
Yep.
So
across the board.
I'm just going to come down on the side of he's good at positioning himself as the solution for this stuff. And the main thing is that. Now he throws other stuff out there. There's people rushing across the border to,
right.
Rape people and steal and all that. That gets in there a bit too. But that's not an everyday thing. People don't think of that every day.
No.
But every single day, if you don't have enough money, you know it. It grinds at you. It's called grinding poverty, right?
Yep.
Right. It grinds at you. It's horrible. It's that. And so now here's the thing, folks. Even in 4 years, 2 years from now, or whatever, that same scenario will exist because Donald Trump is not going to fix it. We do know that. I don't fix that. I don't know how he got elected, but he's not going to fix that. So you're going to still have it. So all elections going forward would ignore this at your peril. Just absolutely at your peril. As a matter of fact, what do you think, Phil? There's going to be even more people having trouble making ends meet, even in 2 years?
Yes. Because, well, cost of things doesn't go down. So
No, and the folks who are, let's just call them oligarchs. The
yeah,
oligarchs that are sucking up all the money, they'll just get better at it.
it's not floating back down. No,
No, no, no, it's not doing it.
no,
So, and now, folks, we're not here to say how to fix it. We don't
no.
know how to fix it.
We don't have the fix.
No, we don't have the fix, but we certainly know how to show people, and if we could, a political person, this is real stuff. You're dealing with amygdalas. And you'll see in our daily matrix posts, we often talk about, even Phil and I, we tend to think about talking to amygdalas because, man, they set people off because that's what their job. All of our amygdalas is, fight, flight, or freeze, right? That's,
Yep.
most people know that those three amygdala responses. And when people are swimming in that kind of long time worry and desperation and stuff, their behaviors, their relief behaviors are unpredictable, chaotic.
Yep, that's a good word. Chaotic.
Chaotic. We're talking running. There's an old saying about run screaming into the night.
Yeah, yeah.
But, they got no idea where they're going. They don't know where any holes are. They don't know where the trees are. They don't know nothing. They're just running. It's chaotic. And so, and by the way, that's what many have written about over the years of what demagoguery, it's called, demagogues. If somebody who's good at talking shows up and says, I'm your answer for your horrible predicament. Okay. And if they do it right, people will go, yes, yes. I'm just sure you're the answer. And they vote for them. If it's a democracy, then they vote for them. They follow them. And, so we're always, as long as we have that disparity, that haves versus the have-nots, tremendous haves versus the have-nots disparity, it's going to be tricky. It's just to get those people to predictably vote for you. Mm-hmm. And so we went into the election thinking, well, we're running all of these, what do they call polls? I'm looking at the polls, seeing, predicting how people will vote. Well, they showed up to the ballot vote, and my mother-in-law, who was a political hack, she involved. Actually, at one time, she was a Republican, switched to being a Democrat. But she always said people vote their pocketbooks.
Yep.
She said it's really easy. Well, that's what I'm talking about here. I'm just giving you a very specific example of how they vote their pocketbooks. So why is this important? It's not going away. It'll be here for the next election cycle. It's going to be here in between now and the next election cycle. And it's the number one thing you need to pay attention to. It's just absolutely. I know there's all kinds of other important issues like fear of fascism and
yeah.
Folks, I understand those are really important. That is really important.
That's real stuff. That's real stuff too.
Real stuff, but it won't get through this.
Yeah,
it will for some. I'm not saying I'm going to paint the whole thing, but there's going to be plenty of people. One, they're not going to know what fascism means.
No.
A lot of people don't know the difference between communism and socialism.
Yeah, right? They don't. And authoritarianism too. People will say, "Well, what's that?"
What's that? Yeah. So let's do an essay test. What's the difference? Compare and contrast socialism, communism, and authoritarianism. Well, myself included, flunks that one. 'Cause in the
Right.
old days, I'd go to the library. Now I just Google the three of
Yeah,
them
Google it. Right.
and come up with it. But no, usually people don't. They don't know the difference between those
No.
things. That's not. It's just not. What they call this, the lived economy.
I was going to say it's not showing up in the context in our terms. It's not showing up in the context of their lives as they live it.
No, no. So, but the lived economy is fairly frequently you're checking to find out what your how
Yeah.
much money you got.
How much I got coming in, how much I got going out, what I got to spend my money on, what's left over to spend on other things. And that's if you're able to even do that.
And there's millions of people who can't do that.
Right.
Literally, because the income disparity has gone
Oh,
nuts. It's just nuts. And as I said, that's not a statistic. That's just a fact. All kinds of data, real hard data that shows that. And then now people wring their hands about it, and what can we do about it? Oh gosh, Phil, and I sure wish we could fix it, but we don't know how. We
no.
don't. Somebody does. Now, I will say, and I'm not jaded in saying this. Come on, the Republicans get lots of money from those folks. Drum roll. The Democrats get lots of money from those folks. So one of the problem is that the oligarch. I'm just going to call them the oligarchs. Oh, they won't know what that is either. That's
No,
rich.
no,
That's
no,
rich people
there
who
you go.
run
Right.
easy. Rich people who run the country.
Call the shots.
That's it. They're rich and they can run the country.
Yep.
And they're invisible because they just buy people to run the country. They buy politicians mainly to run the country. That's an oligarch. They're all over. Russia's full of them. The United States has been an oligarchy since the 1990s, meaning rich people calling the shots. And so the rich people are calling the shots with the Republicans and the Democrats. So, good luck with,
They spread it around.
with either one of those parties fixing things. So, I hate to be a bit of a nihilist on that, but that's, once again, it's just true. It's just true. And so, I think I'm going to do, we're going to have a post come out, Your Daily Matrix,
Yes.
which will say that. We've, over the last 50 years, we've had both Republican and Democrat presidents, and they haven't fixed that.
Yep. They've had their cracks at it. That's for sure.
They made cracks at it, and they haven't fixed it. And so that's a tough problem. But that's all. That's a digression. Main thing is you got a whole lot of people, and in those swing states, so-called swing states, the Wisconsin and Pennsylvania and
Michigan
and stuff. Oh man, there are lots of people lost their nice manufacturing jobs and stuff.
Oh yeah.
They used to be able to make ends meet. They didn't have that nagging worry, and now they got it. None of it's like that. And politicians are at their peril ignoring this. So if you know a politician, give them the matrix, show them to, maybe they can understand that, man, once you get, it comes down, I look at my bank account. Yikes.
Yeah. Bank accounts don't lie, folks.
Yeah, that's a 5 senses experience.
That's right.
Yikes. And the yikes is in the lower left, folks. Yikes. And that's your amygdala setting off fight, flight, or freeze. What do I do? What do I do? And of course, most of the time you can't do anything, so you just worry. So now you wring your hands and worry. Well, that just leads to all kinds of bad stuff. And in the end, some politician comes along and can take advantage of that. So the better thing is to run for office so that you can actually fix that. Fix it so people have enough money. The vast majority of people, anyway, have enough money. But that's what happened. from a matrix point of view, that's what happened. And I'm a supporter of all kinds of those other good causes that people mention. And, the more high and mighty, we should pay attention to social justice. I'll just put it in. And this stuff overcomes that. Just does. You can't overcome it. Some people can. I'm not saying nobody can, but a lot of people can. And plenty of people that would vote for Donald Trump. And then I know. And when you say, well, Kevin, that makes no friggin' sense. He's not going to do anything for them. Notice it's chaos. I understand that, but you can't predict what they're going to do.
Nope. Just like you can't predict what an amygdala is going to do.
No. And as myself included, if I get in some state of chronic worry or something like that, who knows what I'm going to do? I don't know.
In those circumstances, exactly.
You get off. You just get your amygdala is firing overtime, and there's just no telling what you're going to do. But learned arguments about.
No, you're not processing any of that.
They can't process that. Literally, they can't process it. And and then we can't get into relational frame theory, which is basically how you take a word and you frame stuff onto it. Okay. One of them that they being the Republicans, did a great job is with woke, WOKE. They just.
Oh yeah.
They did put all kinds of bad stuff onto that woke. Okay. But the other cool one though, I know I say it. I'm saying it like a scientist. Okay, was the price of eggs.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that?
Yep.
That became a symbol.
Yeah.
That
was like a marker. It was like a marker.
Like a marker. So people, and of course, the educated people who have enough money, who aren't worried about, like, you go to the store and you just put down your debit card and buy it.
Yep.
You don't worry about it. Right? Well, that gives you the freedom to now think about this other stuff, any other stuff, right? But if you look at the price of eggs and they've gone up, and it means that you can't buy the eggs. Whoops. And so that became a stand-in for this. Yeah. I'm going to fix your ability to buy food problem. So that's how they directly connected it, was with eggs. Clever.
Yep. Speaks to everybody.
Now people are going to come after me with pitchforks. And you say those people were clever. They frame the argument. It's called framing the argument. And so they attached all that bad stuff. So basically now the clear sentence becomes, if you elect me, you'll have plenty of money to buy eggs.
Yeah.
Concrete.
Yep.
Concrete. Either I want to increase your wages or decrease the cost.
Cost.
One or the other. So yeah. So if you're going to run next time, anybody, and you're going to run on increasing the minimum wage, I really, really, really would recommend that you give an exact number.
Yeah. Put a number on there.
And make it pretty easy to calculate. So 15 was nice. Yeah. But make it so it doesn't take a lot of brain power to calculate the increase that people will get. Because then they feel relieved, and they're a lot more likely to vote for you. And so we know from exit polls, which actually that's some of the best stuff there is.
Yeah.
Because people, they have a story about why they voted. And so they get the story about why they voted, and basically it was, well, the Democrats have become rich intellectual elite, and there's no way they're going to get me out of this financial situation.
They don't get where I'm coming from.
That's that's the story. That's the story that took the day. And somehow a billionaire with gold toilets.
Multi-million-dollar hotels and casinos.
Yeah. Was a fix-it guy for that. And it makes no sense whatsoever. I am not saying that makes any sense, but I am saying it doesn't have to make sense because of this chronic worry. You get desperate. So, and there's no telling. So, yeah, you'll vote for an orange tinted billionaire guy that I mean, they had in Missouri, they had it. So the people go to the polls and vote. They voted in favor of abortion rights.
Right.
They voted in favor of increasing the minimum wage.
Right.
And they voted for Donald Trump,
Yes.
who is absolutely opposed to abortions and increase.
Yeah, the other two, right? Exactly, right.
My point is, it doesn't have to make sense. It doesn't have to make sense. It doesn't. But it won't as long as you got that. And the United States has a real problem.
Yeah.
And that is, it's a really, 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 really big problem, this income disparity. I mean, there's a famous story you may have heard of about some French royalty getting their heads cut off.
Something about cake, I think I recall.
Yeah, let them eat cake. We don't know if she actually said that or not. But the main thing is that story is about, well, once you get too many people downtrodden and desperate for money and food, then bad things can happen.
Oh, yeah.
I would calculate that something bad just happened.
Yep.
Right. I would say that. I would say something bad just happened. I'm not going to say that any different, but my goodness, folks, it wasn't Donald Trump that set that stage.
Oh no,
that started getting set.
Those tracks were laid down a long time ago.
1970s, as a matter of fact, when it took off. It's been going on for 50 years. So, and of course, like anything now, it's accelerated. So it's getting worse. So, and who knows who now in a chaotic thing like that might have elect a Democrat next time. You never know. I know people think, they have to
very well just swing the other way.
Right, they have to do X and Y and Z exactly to get elected.
Because people are still going to be unhappy, and their amygdalas are still going to be fired up.
So some Democrat candidate might come along and pull a Donald Trump and become the solution and get voted for. Believe me, folks, it can happen, but it won't be because somebody analyzed the electorate. It's going to be based off of the haves and the have-nots. Right now, the have-nots are in dire shape, absolute dire shape, no doubt about it. And this was what they said coming in. This is the exit poll data.
Mm-hmm.
All the other stuff that was really important stuff, including abortion rights and what was some other ones? Well, abortion rights was the big one. I would have even won in Florida if they hadn't set the level at 60% for the vote.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, all over the place. So no, it's not that. So hopefully a Democrat will come along. You know what? Even if it's a Republican who fixes this have versus the have-not problem, I'm all for it. I know it sounds horrible for me to say that, but I just want somebody to fix that problem. I don't know how.
No.
We need to have a long discussion with folks.
We would just be looking for some kind of workability here, at the end of the day.
That's it. We want something that works.
Something that works to help us all move forward. That would be the thing.
and all move forward exactly, and not leave a whole lot of people
and not leave people disenfranchised. And
disenfranchised. They're
yeah,
just are. They're just poor. They're just desperate. You know? It's a disease. You know, that's poor. It's getting bigger. It's like the Black Plague. You know, it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Now I have watched some shows to go on, and I've even seen one where this exact thing happened. Somebody brought up about the lived economic experience. This, what you and I are talking about. And I swear to goodness, the other talking heads looked at him and started talking about other stuff.
oh yeah,
And then the reality is, folks, the other stuff will not carry the day.
no,
It just won't. And I'm for that stuff. I really am. Don't get me wrong. But it's not going to overcome this.
Well, you can talk about that stuff. This is something that would need to be done.
Yeah.
Right. That's why the talking heads are so good at talking, because they're talking. Not so much good at doing.
They gotta. This has to be done. And I don't know. Now I'm not. I'm not going to run for office and get in and get it changed. I don't know how it's going to occur. If it does, maybe it doesn't. Maybe the whole thing falls apart. I don't know. But as long as this is going on, it's not. You're always going to get chaos in your elections. Donald Trump is a result of that chaos. So let's see if we can do something else. Most of you, oh, you know what it was? What I thought of when those other folks, you know, the person brought it up, and then they all gave him sort of like the 1,000-mile stare. You know what those are, Phil?
Oh yeah, I've experienced that myself a time.
Right. And they wasn't talking about other stuff that they wanted.
Yeah, what are you doing there?
So, and what the 1,000-mile stare is relief.
Yep.
It's like, I don't want to talk about that.
Yeah.
That's hard.
Yep.
And so I'm
going away now.
I'm going away and talking about this other thing that I like to talk about.
Yep.
But the person saying it was saying it like Phil and I are saying it.
Yeah.
You really need to fix this problem.
You got to look at this right here. You know, as I was saying.
Oh yeah. Right. And they go, ooh. And so, in my opinion, that's what you usually see is that people, even if they address this a little bit, they then want to talk about something else. Because this is hard. I know this is hard to fix. There's no doubt about that. Mainly because you're running up against some very wealthy, powerful people. That, you know, and they're pulling all the strings and stuff. So it's not impossible. They've been taken down before, but it's going to take some talent. Going to take some work. Maybe demonstrations in the streets. I don't know what, but something. So don't ignore it, folks. That would be my thing. You see these lots of little clips about most important thing in life is to be honest with yourself.
Yeah.
Really, just which is the matrix, by the way, folks. That's what Phil and I are trying to do.
Yeah, there it is.
But that's it. Is this so you can look at yourself honestly, you know? And this is what we're doing. This is how you look at us, all of us. But this all happens on an individual level. Because we look at our checking account, ouch, it's too low. Now I got to worry. If I got kids, I'm really worried.
Oh, really? Yeah. And if somebody's sick or somewhere, you know, oh man, look out, right?
Well, don't even get us started on health care.
No. Yeah.
We don't have universal health care in this country. So if you're poor and sick, you can really be screwed. Oh man, it's bad stuff. And there you go. Everybody's desperate. And they'll vote Donald Trump's in and any other kind of demagogue that comes along. Now, I'm not saying Joe Biden was a Democrat. He got elected. But I think a large part of why he got elected is he said $15.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding.
And he did. Oh yeah.
He gave a specific number.
He did.
God, what did he win Pennsylvania by? Just barely a percentage point.
Yeah, he just squeaked by.
And like Wisconsin, 0.01 something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, these were very narrow victories, and he probably got them with that specific number. So, and just to because people talk about this, another interesting statistic is that the 18 to 44 or something year old vote has gone down drastically.
Yes.
Millions of them didn't show up to vote.
People did not show up. Yep.
They did not show up.
Shut it out.
That's called avoidance.
That's another relief move, folks. Upper left.
So I couldn't bring myself to vote for Donald Trump, but I really can't bring myself to vote for Kamala Harris. So I'll just sit it out. Which, of course, that's it. Well, Phil has young people. Yep. He's familiar with young people. I'm familiar with young people who fricking can barely afford rent. The term is they're living in their parents' basements. Yep. They can't get out of their parents' basement. Well, we broke the social contract with them. We broke it. Yep. They were supposed to be able to get out on their own.
Yep. Follow these steps and you will achieve independence.
And they did follow the steps.
They did.
And we broke the contract. That did not equal you get out on your own.
There was not delivery on that issue, on that promise, or that whatever.
What it equaled is you got to stay home and live with your parents, or with a whole bunch of roommates or something, because you can't afford stuff on your own. So they're disillusioned. So they sat it out, and it's this same stuff. same stuff, that income disparity. So it's not going to go away. So we'll be facing it 2 years. 2 years we'll have another House of Representatives election. So
yes.
So this isn't going to go anywhere. Now the doom and gloomers say, "Oh my God, we won't win another presidential election forever." I don't believe that. I don't.
Yeah, I'm not buying that either.
Because I think a Democrat can come along. No, more than likely they'll still be bought and paid for by the oligarchs, but whatever. But they come on and somehow, sort of in Donald Trump fashion, or even Joe Biden fashion, is position yourself as a relief for this problem. And it's not, for the people who are in it, it's not a it's a concrete problem. That's what I want to say.
Right.
It's a concrete problem. It's not autocracy. That's not concrete.
No.
I don't even know what that is.
It means nothing to most people.
Actually, I do know what it is, but most people don't know what that is.
They could care less.
They don't know. They don't know any of that stuff. They do know I don't got enough money to buy.
Yeah, that they can see.
That's concrete. And so a Democrat can come along in 4 years and do that. Absolutely. That can be pulled off. Now, I think they think like the Harris campaign ran a very traditional campaign, and they didn't really hit this very well. And don't fault me, folks. They lost.
Yeah.
Listen to James Carville. They lost. So if you lose, you lose. They didn't hit this well enough. And Donald Trump's has got a sixth sense for it. He just does. I don't know how he does it. It'd be like me knowing how somebody learns piano tunes the first time they hear it.
Yeah. I never figured out how someone could do that. Just pick up an instrument and play it.
It's beyond me. But that's
yeah.
What he can do. So, but anyways, no, I don't see it as real hopeless, because I think It's chaotic. This sets up chaos, and somebody can waltz into the chaos, and end up being at least a believed solution. So far, the believed solutions haven't turned into real solutions. So Biden started off good, and he was money and all this stuff coming in, and things were turning around, and then then inflation took off on him, and that's worldwide. For post-pandemic inflation has crushed those that were in power.
Yep, all the incumbents got booted out.
Literally, 100%. They've all gotten moved out, and it's the same problem. Oh, by the way, the United States isn't the only country with the problem, but we're one of the worst. We are. You'll hear us talk more about the haves versus the have-nots because of the worry and the desperation, and that always makes bad stuff. And when I say chaos, if any of you were Game of Thrones watchers, you ever watch it? And there was this real slimy guy.
Oh yeah, Littlefinger.
Littlefinger. You know, even that name alone just.
Oh yeah, you just got to know that guy's slimy.
Slimy. And he said one time, one of his lines was, "Chaos is a ladder."
Right.
And that's it. Somebody can come along in this, by definition, chaos. It's just chaos. It's a ladder. So a Democrat can jump on that ladder and climb up it. Other folks can too. I would advocate for getting rid of the chaos. I think you ought to give everybody a living wage. Yeah,
that would be the concrete solution, a very big concrete solution.
So far, the people who have offered that up have gotten smashed.
Oh man, smashed off to the side
by some dirty dealings too.
Oh man,
yeah, a real dirty dealing.
They got knifed.
yeah, literally knifed, Littlefinger style.
yeah.
The dagger with the Valerian steel blade.
Oh yeah, right.
Of black. And so it's not that people haven't come along and proposed it, but they get whacked.
It gets smacked down quickly.
They get smacked down. Don't make it out of the primary. So let's hope. There's always hope. Audacity of hope. Didn't somebody write that?
Well, if they didn't, they sure should.
That's Barack Obama's title.
I know.
Everybody writes a book when they're getting ready to run for president. Barack Obama wrote The Audacity of Hope.
Exactly.
So anyways, let's do it. Let's hope that gets fixed out. Let's do it. But this isn't going to go away.
No.
Get your matrix out. Look at it. See that amygdala. It's going bing, 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 bing. People are desperate. Chaos ensues. Ain't a pretty sight.
Yep.
And it's not going well.
No plan, willy-nilly running around.
Yep. And there is essentially zero chance of it going away in the near future. So Phil and I won't take our eyes off of it.
No.
We're not going to avoid talk.
Nope.
We know how important amygdalas are responses to.
We have tremendous respect for I have tremendous respect for my amygdala and everybody else's. Let's put it that way.
Oh, well, come on now. With Trump winning, a lot of people who have enough money, their amygdalas got set off.
Yep.
Right. Like, oh, no. Well, and you can see it on the talking head shows and stuff. They're just flipping out.
Oh, yeah. Watch them doing relief moves, folks. Over the next
the
few
ones
weeks.
on the Trump and his cronies, they all love it. They're great. They're in great.
Oh, yeah.
The Democrats are freaking out, so their amygdalas are going off.
Right. They're in disarray. Let's say they're in disarray.
Amygdalas.
Yeah. Wah,
Come
wah,
on,
wah.
folks. Now,
Danger,
what
danger.
I've not heard anybody talk about, Phil, is amygdalas.
No. Someone I was telling you, someone today I heard, I think it was the senator, the senator, female senator from California had talked about it being a visceral response. This voting is a visceral response.
And it is. And that's when she says visceral.
She came close. She's
Put
coming
in
close.
amygdala.
Right.
Yes, that is very close. Good for her. Don't ignore it, folks. Don't look away. Well, and that's what the oligarchs want you to do. They're going to show you all kinds of shiny stuff.
Yeah. Look over here. Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain.
That's the famous line.
Yep.
Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. And so, from the Wizard of Oz, if you're not familiar with it. So, anyways, I do hope we'll keep doing it. We're going to do the Daily Matrix. We're just going to keep plowing it out.
Sign up if you haven't already. If you have, thank you.
There's a button. If you're on Crowdcast, there's a button down below.
Down below.
If you're on YouTube, in the down below in the About section, whatever, is a link to sign up for your Daily Matrix. Because it is cool to do this thing every day. And we have them, we send them out every day that have all the questions. So.
Yep.
And there's another one. There's a We Matrix. We've only been looking at the Me Matrix today. There's a We Matrix. But voting is an individual sport. You know?
Always.
Yeah. You go into the voting booth, it's just you.
You vote your conscience, they say, right? You vote your conscience.
And so it's
really you're voting with your amygdala.
Voting's all about the Me Matrix.
Right.
And people vote for relief and they vote for satisfaction. But as long as you got all of those poor people running, they're going to have a whole lot of people voting for relief.
Yep.
And they'll chaotically vote for the damnedest things. Yeah.
Yep.
It's unpredictable. That's when behavior becomes unpredictable. So we'll be back. The Daily Matrix will be back out again in the morning at 2 a.m. This will be out. We'll put this as a post of the Daily Matrix. It's over on Substack. We enjoy doing it. We do.
Yeah, we're having fun with that.
We're having fun with it. We'll do it. Hope you sign up for it. And I mean, there is a paid version, but we make sure and keep all the good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
it's
all there.
We're not going to get people's amygdalas in the way. As long as you can afford a smartphone, you can have access to it. And most people have one. So, anyways, and I'll get over my cold pretty quick. Fortunately, it's so far a minor cold. That's a good thing. Anything else, Phil?
No, I think we've set out doing what we wanted to do today.
Well, we did. We just put stuff out there. We'll see. I mean, we've never gotten a big following or anything.
Oh, that's not going to happen.
Share. Oh no, it might. Chaos can happen.
Not today.
Yeah,
not
chaos
today.
can happen. You know, just.
It could. Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. We could stumble into something. Let's put it that way.
But other than that, we're just going to keep.
It's not, but it won't be a planned, purposeful thing.
No, that's their point. No. But chaos can happen.
Right.
I'm not going to hold my breath.
Nope.
But we'll keep putting it out. We will. Sign up. And doing, in all seriousness, folks, answering the 4 questions of the Matrix is actually a pretty cool thing to do each day. After doing it a while, you'll probably notice calm show up.
Yes. Calmness, and we say clarity. Some little bit of clarity.
That's the strange thing. That's the 2 words people use, calm and clarity. And I think some of them are even sort of poor. So let's hope. We'll keep doing it. Bye-bye, folks.
Have a good one. Take care.
Good one. Take care.